Well, Suncorp Stadium has not been the happiest of home grounds for Brisbane Roar so far this season. 2 defeats out of 2, and all told they've now lost 5 consecutive matches at this venue. Tonight they welcome Melbourne City, who have won all 3 of their road trips so far this season. Can Roar turn the form book on its head, or will City win 4 away matches in a row for the first time in their history? Well, Ruben Zadkovic's team stemmed the bleeding at least last week, an injury time equaliser against Macarthur, preventing 5 losses on the trot and an unwanted place in the National League record books. Now they'll look to build upon that here tonight. As for City, they're looking to bounce back from a disappointing home display against Western Sydney Wanderers. A 20-day layoff due to the bye and international break, leaving them looking somewhat rusty and rather toothless in attack. An attack, of course, still shorn of 3 top-level Socceroos. And their record here isn't that great. 4 wins and 9 losses from their 16 visits, including, of course, that 5-1 reverse here in the last meeting between the two. It's a typically warm, rather muggy evening in southeast Queensland. Although temperatures have dipped to around 24 degrees. And the stats boffins heavily favouring Melbourne City for this one. 51% win probability. Brisbane Roar will have other ideas, and here's how they line up. An unchanged 11 from the 4-4 draw with Macarthur. Scott Neville makes his first appearance at Suncorp in 12 months following his return from long-term injury. Jay O'Shea makes his 150th Roar appearance in all competitions. Florent Berenguer lines up against his former employers, and Anthony Burke-Gilroy continues to keep Corey Brown on the bench at left-back, a bench that also includes the fit-again Ecuadorian Neisser Acosta. Ben Halloran is out with general soreness. There's Florent Berenguer, who spent 5 years with Melbourne City, helping them to win the grand final in 2021. He scored 3 of those 13 A-League goals for Roar last season, but intriguingly, none of them as yet at Suncorp. Now 3 changes for Melbourne City. Callum Talbot drops to the bench with Nathaniel Atkinson shifting to right back. James Jago returns for his first start since round 1 in place of Zane Schreiber in midfield. Harry Politidis returns to the left side of the attack. And there's a starting debut for 19-year-old Arion Suleimani in preference to Medin Mehmeti. The Dandenong-born youngster has played just 2 minutes of senior football in the A-League. Lecky, Tilio, Nabut, Lapane and Caputo all still on the injury list. There is Samuel Cyprien, who was a teammate of Florent Berenguer during their days with Dijon in their native France, and also a teammate of a former Roar favourite from the past, a certain Eric Botiak, scorer of that crazy penalty many years ago here at Suncorp. There's Aurelio Vidmar, who began his coaching career at Suncorp all the way back in 2007, when his then Adelaide United team drew 2-2 with the then Queensland Roar. That 5-1 defeat in February against Brisbane, the first time he's tasted defeat at this venue in 5 visits. Ruben Zadkovic got his first win as Roar coach in that 5-1 mauling of City here in February, but he's won just twice since, the last being 8 games ago against the Western Sydney Wanderers back in April. Referee tonight is Sam Kelly, the referee of the year in the NPL New South Wales for the last 2 seasons, making his debut in the middle. He's assisted by Joey Lee and Maddie Allen. Ali Reza Fagani, the 4th official, and Chris Griffiths-Jones is in VAR. So Melbourne City to kick us off in their change strip of predominantly black, and immediately Cyprien having his attempted ball upfield charged down by Tommy Waddingham. Maybe a a portent of things to come, Daniel McBreen? Both teams really with a bit of a point to prove tonight.
Well, they do, Simon. Good evening, everyone. Melbourne City last week, very flat, but still probably produced the best opportunities in the match. Didn't take them. That young man, Tommy Whittingham, nagged himself a brace. It's not been a problem really going forward for Brisbane. It's the other end, in Perth Glory, with the worst defence.
Tommy Whittingham's made a lively start. 2 or 3 touches of the ball already. Here's the Raw's top scorer with 3 goals. Oh, Scott Neville's been robbed of the ball by Andreas Kuhn. Big chance here for Melbourne City. And Kuhn scores! 52 seconds on the clock. Melbourne City take the lead. And it's a second goal in City colours for the Austrian, Andreas Kuhn.
Well, I just mentioned the frailties at the back for Brisbane Raw. It was Scott Neville on the Harvey Norman replay who just dwelled a little too much, and then Andreas Kuhn wins it. I thought he'd just gone a little too slow there and gave the defence enough time to get back, but his aggression wins it. He gets his head up, has a look and assesses the situation, and maybe a deflection off the defender's foot that takes it out of Macklin Freaks. You see there the touch, yeah, Macklin Freak going to his left, but it's strong aggression there, just dwelling on the ball, Scott Neville. And as Macklin Freak goes to the left, the deflection takes it in at the near post, and it's a great start, just what Aurelio Vidmar would have wanted for Melbourne City.
Just a little flick off the boot of Jay O'Shea, enough to deceive Macklin Freak. It's a great start for Melbourne City. It's not a happy return to Suncorp Stadium for Scott Neville. 12 months since he last featured at this stadium. But credit to the Austrian. He spotted an opportunity and he was good enough to take it.
Well, it was Tommy Whittingham from the kickoff that asked a question of Samuel Suprayan. Well, Andreas Kuhn shooting at the other end to finish it off.
And again, City steal the ball. Kuhn has support here from Politidis. They're queuing up in the middle for City, but it sort of went betwixt and between. Suleimani and Kuhn. City could so easily have been 2 goals to the good.
Well, there was plenty of lethargy last week for Melbourne City. Well, they've addressed that very early on here. Brisbane Raw need to wake up. Caught in possession twice now. You're right, Simon. Probably should have been 2-0 down.
Well, Andreas Kuhn brought in ostensibly to replace Tolgay Arslan. Huge boots to fill. And he's already got a couple of goals and maybe started to find his feet in the Isuzu UTE men's competition. Good use of the body from Nathaniel Atkinson. City look really hungry, don't they, in these opening minutes? Stung by that defeat at home to the Wanderers last week.
Yeah, it was a very flat display, and really Vidmar said in the pre-match last week that he was worried about that. In 3 weeks off between games. Well, they've obviously addressed that during the week because this has been an electric start.
As for Raw, that is now 15 goals they've conceded so far this season. Only Perth Glory have conceded more. No prizes for guessing what at least one of the problems is for the home team. Patrick Beach forced to play out under pressure. Jack Hinger creeping forward from the throw. Breaks here for Jelicic. Nice feet from Jelicic, and Whittingham gets there first to the loose ball. Driven across by O'Shea. Picked up in the deep by Bert Gilroy and turned back by Zabala. A high-octane start. Off the head of Struijk, who was offside. Bad omen for Brisbane. It's the 4th time this season that Melbourne City have taken the lead in a game, and they've won each of the previous 3. Still a long way to go in this game. It's a lovely touch. Side there against Suleimani.
Well, you said, Simon, there's a long way to go in this game, but Melbourne City seem right on it, don't they? On the ball, created 2 opportunities for a really aggressive press. Look sharp on the ball as well. Kick the ball around well.
Rick just about managing to get rid of the ball in the nick of time before he was closed out. Throw in for Brisbane, which Hinga will take. Referee Sam Kelly says that's enough creeping forward. Off the head of O'Shea. Gerongier just seemed to misjudge the bounce there a little. Spinning ball. It's also the 4th time this season that Brisbane Roar have conceded the first goal in an A-League match. They have lost each of the previous 3. Again, City very aggressive high up the field. Warland. Comfortable for Kai Truin, making his first return to Suncorp as a Melbourne City player. That's the club where he started his career, of course. His only A-League goal came in this fixture for Brisbane last season in that 5-1 win. Jago. Politidis. Once again, but Warland stepping across. Neville. Ingots. Nice control passing from the Raw. Zabala, they're building nicely here, the home side. Bit of space for Bert Gilroy on the left. And Strat there if he needs him. Just a poor touch, really, from Bert Gilroy.
Looked to take a little bobble on the pitch as he went to take his touch. Does look a little worn, and some players trying to change direction can be a problem as well. Maybe a little slippy as well.
O'Shea. It's too far behind Rafael Struik, Indonesian international, who's making back-to-back starts for Ruben Zankovic's team for the first time. It's a rather frustrated figure at the moment, the Royal coach. Not the start he was after.
Definitely not.
Oh, that's a risky ball from Patrick Beach. Goodness me, well, we saw that in the Melbourne derby a few weeks ago. You've got to know when to choose your moments. Got away with that one.
Oh, you see it a lot in modern-day football, don't you? Some of the old-timers believe it's overplaying. That's the way the game is now, as we see Beach right out near the centre circle, joining in the play.
You call him an old-timer.
No, I didn't look at you. That was just a coincidence, Simon.
You're right, though. Bajic making through the legs. Politidis, or rather Kuhn, keeps the ball alive. Vance favours Brisbane, away by Bert Gilroy. Retrieved by Truin. Much control over that one from Andreas Kuhn. Straight at Berenguer. Jelicic with time to turn and link up with Hingert. Three in the middle if Raw can find the angle for the cross. A little too cute from Keegan Jelicic.
Yeah, they just went on the same page, were they? They're Berenguer looking to check back to the edge of the box. But those are the positions that Ruben Zakovic will be expecting a lot from his team. The likes of Jelicic, Berenguer, Jay O'Shea. He'll be looking for them to control that midfield, move it around, switch it from side to side, and then when they get in those advanced positions, look for those little threaded passes in behind.
Too high for Aziz Bayic. Aurelio Vidmar just urging his players to take their time. Warland, ball stuck between his feet for a moment. Zabala. O'Shea for Warland. Jelicic able to pick the ball up centrally. This wouldn't stick for Waddingham. Cycle by Hingert, where he intended the ball to go. Zabala still scrapping away for the ball. Cohen coming away with it for City, but only briefly. O'Shea just took a nick off Jego, which helped out Nathaniel Atkinson. He's played a few different positions in the last few weeks for Melbourne City. Right back, left midfield. He's back at right fullback today, which is probably his best position. It's a foul by Warland. Pretty agricultural one as well on Steven Ugarkovic.
I can't help but wonder if Nathaniel Atkinson put that chance away last week, if he'd still be in the midfield, or that was his last chance and it's back to where we're used to seeing you. Steven Ugarkovic asking the question, yeah, maybe a yellow card in that.
Bayic. Politidis is getting behind Jack Hingert just for a moment. They view Harry Politidis really long-term as a left fullback, but he can play in that more attacking role.
But when he's on the field at the same time as Andrew Navoot was, at times you thought it was just a mini version. Very similar build. He's the same gym program.
Similar running style as well.
Yeah, they're very similar in their gait.
Andrew Navoot, of course, sadly out for the rest of the season in all likelihood with that knee injury. Marco Tilio and Matt Leckie a little bit closer to returning. A couple of weeks, we're told, for both. There's Berenguer finding a little pocket of space. Hingert. 4 in the box for the Raw. Samuel Suprian was also stationed, not once but twice. Warland first the loose ball. Waddingham. Stroud just on his heels. Really anticipate the ball coming his way. Those 5 consecutive home defeats, by the way, for Brisbane. A new and unwanted club record. So they don't want to extend that any further. The last one at home on the 3rd of March, 3-2 against Melbourne Victory. told. 8 without success. The overall club record is 12. Set back in season 18-19. They were battling with the Mariners for the wooden spoon. So they're starting to close in on that as well. Truin. Atkinson. Good balance by the Socceroo. Supriyan. Tidi's just looking for that little touch around the corner for the run of Aziz Bayic. Patrick Beach had to sort the feet out pretty quickly. He's off his line, and O'Shea's going to have a go. Well, that would have been a special.
Well, I don't mind that. It's an intelligent player assessing the situation, and why not?
It's always the risk when you've got a sweeper keeper. Floated forward by Supriyan, but a little bit too much on it. Macklin Freak not able to use his hands. Make sure that the ball goes out for a throw. Arion Suleimani had a bad injury last season, didn't play at all. Was a prolific striker at junior level, scored 68 goals across 3 campaigns. Very highly rated at Melbourne City. Or Beach again with a heavy touch. Goodness me, that's 2 he's got away with. Olatidis. It's a much more sure touch for Kuhn. And the cutback's a good one, and Cohen buries it. Jonathan Cohen, on the occasion of what is his 300th career appearance in all competitions for all his clubs, doubles Melbourne City's advantage, and it was all too easy for the visitors.
Well, if we go back to the second opportunity when they won the ball very early in the match and the ball came down that side, and the Harvey Norman replay, it starts down the other end, but they get away with it. And the ball gets played forward quickly. But look at the space on this near side. And now as the ball gets laid in behind, this cross that comes here is almost like that earlier opportunity. But this case, Jonathan Cohen reads it well, wraps his run around and finishes with aplomb. That's a lovely touch from Harry Polatidis. Andreas Kuhn has been great at the start of this match. And that's a wonderfully worked goal from Melbourne City.
A goal and an assist for Andreas Kuhn, and Jonathan Cohen has his second in Melbourne City colours, and they are flying Aurelio Vidmar's team.
Well, from one end, it was a little bit nervy, straight down the other end for a goal.
Oh, Brisbane Roar too slow to smell danger, Macca.
Well, at the moment, they've been too slow to everything, haven't they? Right from the get-go, Melbourne City have looked sharper. With and without the ball, the press has been good.
Strangely enough, Brisbane's only 2 real glimmers have been when Patrick Beach has miscontrolled the ball.
Yeah.
Tommy Waddingham had, I think, 3 or 4 touches in the first minute, but has barely been sighted since. City's aggressive approach from the off has paid dividends so far, at least. And they've had a lot of joy down this left-hand side. Andreas Kuhn's really enjoyed himself, pulling out all the tricks. It's going to be a foul, though, on Keegan Jelicic by Polatidis.
And a clear foul there. And Melbourne City, they've had 2 shots, 2 on target, and 2 goals in the 20th minute. They're up 2-0.
Berenguer looking to feed Waddingham. Tied it up by Atkinson. Patrick Beach taking no chances this time. Maybe it's not really the surface to be taking the extra touch.
It's a little bit of old school there for you, Simon. Just having to get it up the field.
O'Shea. Waddingham. This looks more promising for the Raw. There at the back post. The ball's going to get away from Jack Hingett. Now, not just a Sri Lankan international, but a goal scorer as well. He was first in a friendly against Yemen in the last window. This is Bajic to take the throw. Australia's 16th most capped player of all time. Talking of internationals.
A real international flavour down this near touchline.
Neville. Warland. Look how quickly Melbourne City are out to challenge the ball carrier. The chest of Bajic, but he was slightly unbalanced. O'Shea. Zabala. Just about managed to slip it through for Burke Gilroy. Jelicic. It's behind Berenguer and Waddingham and too far in front of Jack Hingett.
Well, it wasn't a bad ball. It's an okay area. Jack Hingett a little bit on his heels, I guess. And that all came from Aziz Bajic trying to bring the ball down on his chest. And if we think back to last week, he tried to do the same. And the ball got nicked off his toe and ended up in the back of the net.
Let's quickly go down and say good evening to Scott McKinnon, who's pitch side for us. Scotty.
Good evening, Simon. Macca. Yep, just a nice little breeze coming into the stadium at the moment, which is taking a bit of the sting of that humidity out of the air. But I was speaking to Aurelio Vidmar before the match, and he was saying, Kuhn, keep an eye out for him because he's going to be one to watch. He's battled niggles, a bit of pain, but he's just going to get better and better, and boy, isn't he showing it. He's running straight past me now, and he's got a bit of size to that frame as well. He's using his body, and he's got that little no-looker pass in him as well, so that seems to be his go-to manoeuvre. It's working beautifully for them, but on the flip side, Brisbane on the attack now, but yeah, their coach is cutting a frustrated figure, not working out well for them at all.
Another attack breaks down, thanks Scotty. It's going to be a foul by Ben Warland. She feels is a little harsh. Jonathan Cohen, perhaps of the alternative persuasion.
Well, I think Jonathan Cohen was saying, please just dink it in behind. He was wanted to go the other way. He knows that if he comes short, he's going to have a big centre back coming through the back of him. I'd rather be running the other way.
By Jay O'Shea. Cyprian getting there ahead of Waddingham. It's lovely from Keegan Jelicic. Zabala. Strauch and Berenguer almost getting in each other's way. Burke Gilroy. And he goes past Nathaniel Atkinson with ease. The cutback for Rafael Strauch. Just wanted too many touches. That was much better from Brisbane Roar. But now they've got to be careful they don't get caught on the counter. It's Cohen on the right, the outside of the boot, but well anticipated by Neville this time.
Well read there from Scotty Neville. And it was the other end where Anthony Burke-Gilroy done some wonderful work down that left-hand side. Space quickly closed up for Rafael Strauch.
is Rafael Struijk. His first goal for Brisbane against Sydney. This is actually his first senior club goal. It's Kurt again with that lovely left peg for Jago this time. Kurt to drive it across. Picks out Cohen on a dime. Jago. Bajic. Square by Cyprian for Truin. Atkinson. Brisbane surely cannot afford to lose a third goal. It's already a tall order to get back in this game. Third would make it a mountain to climb. Escape that fifth defeat in a row by the skin of their teeth last week against MacArthur.
Well, they've certainly got the firepower to create opportunities, we know that. I guess the biggest question would be is, are they capable of seeing out another 75 minutes without conceding again? It hasn't been the best start to the season at the back end.
Politidis just impeding Hingerts on the near touchline.
And you look at Ruben Zjatovic on the sideline there, he's right out on the pitch in his black shirt as well. I'd be asking for a bib to go on him there so I could distinguish the difference between the players.
Always a stickler for the rules, Daniel. Well, that's nice from Struijk. Equally well readjusted by Nathaniel Atkinson. Off the head of Hingerts. Brought down by O'Shea. Evades Cyprian. Hingert with a low cross. And it comes for Jay O'Shea. Well, it's a shot from far closer in this time by Jay O'Shea. Too far over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, just stretching a little, trying to get too much power in it.
50 games up in raw colours in all comps tonight for Jay O'Shea. He's been a great servant to the club and a great contributor.
Oh, he has, definitely. He's a fantastic footballer. Been one of their better players for the whole time, the whole duration of his stay at the club as well.
Here's Kuhn again. Great start to this game. Held up this time, though. Determined work by Louis Zabala. Berenguer. Ferried wide by Jelicic for Struijk. Cuts inside Cohen. Berenguer again. Burke-Gilroy. Struijk for Jelicic, who was just trying to guide it into that little channel for Burke-Gilroy. City looking to launch a counter again, and they've looked dangerous in these sorts of situations. Brisbane have readjusted now, but once or twice they've been caught in transition. Truin's ball. Guided header from Hingert back to Macklin-Freak.
On that occasion, Jack Hingert wasn't too central in the second goal. That sweeping ball from the right to left for Melbourne City caught the Brisbane Raw defence out. Too much space allowed Politidis on the left. On that occasion, Jack Hingert cutting it out.
Burke-Gilroy. Jelicic. O'Shea. Looking to find the angle. It's 3 tries he's had now, the Irishman. It's going to stick eventually.
He's finding a little bit of space around the edge of the box, isn't he? Nice quick feet there. You can see the defence gets out quick to put some pressure on him to get that shot away even quicker.
Do you feel his work goes a little bit unnoticed because Brisbane haven't really been that successful over the last few years, Jay O'Shea?
Yeah, without doubt. Without being disrespectful for Brisbane over the past few years, but I think if he was at a top-end team, he'd be in the talk a lot more. Absolutely brilliant player, creates a lot, work rate as well.
City couldn't quite squeeze that one through for Jago. Zamala under pressure. Neville. Again, look at how City press and win the ball back high up the field. Pass against nice and crisp as well, apart from that one from Ugarkovic. And he left a little bit in on that one, on Rafael Struijk, who's remained down on the field. Play continues. Here's O'Shea in that position that he likes again. This time it's blocked by Truin. Brought down by Zabala. Gets it back off Neville. Wide it goes for Hinga. O'Shea offering. Politidis at his back. Struijk, seemingly okay. What a great start for Melbourne City, seeking a fourth consecutive away win for the first time in their history. This is actually their 200th away game in the competition. Not just 3 wins on the road this season, Macca, but no goals conceded either, 3 clean sheets.
It's a healthy record away from home. And they seem pretty comfortable at the moment as well. Brisbane really fashioning any shots from outside the area.
And all this with their 3 big frontline Socceroos strikers on the injured list. Ugarkovic. Cohen. Punched crossfields towards Bajic. Looking for the give and go with Kuhn. The loose ball favours James Jago here. Just a little stumble at the crucial moment. Politidis. You can see how heavily Melbourne City are favouring this left-hand side when they go forward. Had a lot of success with it as well.
Yeah, no surprise that's that, is it? Andreas Kuhn and Harry Politidis on this left-hand side together. It's another foul from Ben Wallen. Melbourne City players will be starting to ask. Accumulation, 1, 2, 3.
Been booked twice this season, Ben Warland, both in his last 2 games. More immediate concern for Brisbane is this set-piece situation. Suprian is standing all alone at the back of that little cluster of players, ready to make his move. Jonathan Cohen goes towards that back post where he was unmarked. Suprian, and on the volley is Jago! Goodness me, that was close. He hasn't scored in the A-League Since netting one for Adelaide United back in 2015, he's been overseas, of course, for much of the interim, but that was moving.
It was wonderful technique, wasn't it? For a brief moment, I think we both thought that was flying into the nets.
Brisbane looking to strike at the other end. They've got numbers here as well. Jelicic just held up briefly by Bajic, who then got back in the way of Hingett's attempted cross. Here's that effort again from Jego. Where was the marking for Supriya?
Well, you mentioned it before it even happened, but look at that strike. He got hold of it well. I said before the free kick was taken, there was plenty of time for them to realise the free man out the back. It was a free header. It brought the ball back in.
Corner for the Raw. Jay O'Shea, a little too flat, and Supriya able to steer it away at the near post. Jelicic. Goes back to Macklin Freak. O'Shea. Sheer weight of numbers telling for Melbourne City. Andreas Kuhn on the move. Not enough on that little attempted threaded ball through. Just opened up really for Florent Berenguer. The Frenchman on the ball again. Nice little readjustment. Supriya there. Ahead of Waddingham. Berenguer. Strout. And Burke-Gilroy. And O'Shea. A little bit tight in there. Still there though for Berenguer. Now Strout. Can have a go, Rafael Strout. They're starting to create one or two opportunities, Brisbane.
They are. It's another one from just around the edge of the box. This one a little inside. Melbourne City are doing well to keep them out of that real red zone danger area. 6-yard penalty spot.
This game promised goals and it hasn't disappointed. 15 in the last two between them at the back end of last season. And 2 already in the first half here. Both going the way of Melbourne City. Andreas Kuhn and Jonathan Cohen. Supriya. Brisbane have racked up 6 shots, but as you rightly remarked, Macca, most of them outside the box. Not inside, where Tommy Waddingham does all his best work.
Yeah, exactly. You know that he operates in that danger zone, falls in there, and he will cause problems.
All of his 10 goals that he's scored in the A-League so far, Tommy Waddingham, have come inside the penalty area. Seemingly favouring Brisbane, apart from the one that really matters. Neville. Cut out by Supriya. Politidis. Supriya. Edged header for Neville. Ditto off the chest of Diego for City. Ugarkovic. Atkinson. Cohen. There's that crossfield switch again. Beautifully arced towards Aziz Bayic. Cyprian. Politidis. Just a bit of a lull in the game, Macca.
Well, it's Melbourne City. They have earned the right now to be patient, haven't they? They can move it around. If it's not on, come back out again, start again. They're in no real rush. Got a good lead now.
Bayic going first time. Kuhn gets the better of his opponents, and it's going to be a corner off Scott Neville. And again, good work from Andreas Kuhn.
Good strength there as well. Shoulder to shoulder. Jay O'Shea was coming at some rate of knots there. Got the body across.
He's got a good CV, Andreas Kuhn. In the Austrian Bundesliga, some big clubs, Rapid Vienna and Sturm Graz. Last season with Atromitos in Greece. Played at a good level for most of his career. Here's Cohen's corner. Politidis. Again, Brisbane just a little slow to pick up on that run.
I was just about to say that ball is causing all kinds of problems. Every time they've looked dangerous, Melbourne City, it's been that ball from this left-hand side in behind the right fullback for the runner inside, in behind, and they've looked dangerous. Just exact ball and run. I reckon that's the fourth or fifth time now we've seen it. And that's something that Ruben Zatkovic will have to address.
Maybe something already Vidmar spotted watching the video of previous games. So they've exploited it pretty ruthlessly in this first half, which now has just over a couple of minutes to run. Andreas Kuhn. To Cohen, going to reach that one. Both imports on the score sheet. I've said this a lot down the years, Macca, but if you get your imports right in this league, give yourselves a good chance, don't you? And on the evidence of today, City have picked up a couple of decent ones.
Yeah, it goes a long way to defining a season.
Sure-footed from Beach this time. Politidis having to check his run. Sam Kelly having to take evasive action. It's almost Paddy Kisnorbo from last week.
Well, Sam Kelly's doing a good job, hasn't he? First game in the A-League. He's done a stellar job so far.
Cyprian. A bit tricky to pull that one down for Harry Politidis. Now, apart from the obvious, Macca, what the Brisbane Roar need to do differently in the second half to get back into this contest?
Well, I think they need to have the ball a bit better in midfield. Obviously, the right fullback position has been exposed quite a lot. It's the obvious one, as we see 1 minute of added time. And I think they need to hold that ball and move it around better in midfield, really move this Melbourne City team around. And then I would also say maybe be a little bit more adventurous with some balls in behind when you have good possession. Try and squeeze those balls maybe over the top when there's a high city line. Just mix it up a little bit.
As for City, I'm sure the message from our radio Vidmar will be more of the same, please. Again, the high press, and again it's paid dividends. Here's Kuhn, here's Cohen! Off the uprights, goodness me. Brisbane hanging on by the skin of their teeth. Wow. I think the post is still shaking.
Yeah.
And that is half-time. And Brisbane are fortunate that they're only 2 down, because Jonathan Cohen met that oh so sweetly. Macklin Freak is well beaten, but the post denying him. He has got 1 goal though, Jonathan Cohen. Andreas Kuhn, 1 goal and 1 assist. City really good in the first half. The away day specialists in their groove once again. Brisbane Roar in line to become their latest roadkill. At the break at Suncorp, it's Brisbane Roar 0, Melbourne City 2 at half-time.
Yes, Brisbane Roar still searching for their first win of the season. They've created some chances, but it's the visitors who've been cashing in. 2 goals to 0, and very nearly was 3 just then. We'll be back to break it down with the Hungry Jacks halftime show right after this. Can the Roar turn it around? We'll answer that question next. Well, it was a hot and humid day in Brisbane today, but it's the boys from down south who are running hot at the moment. Melbourne City, how about that one off the post by Jonathan Cohen? Wow, got to say they might have to replace that post at half-time. He's going, how on earth did that not go into the back of the net? Welcome to the Hungry Jacks half-time show. Scott McKinnon alongside Amy Chapman. I tell you what, we spoke about the frailties of Brisbane Roar's defence, and it was on show from about 52 seconds, wasn't it? A horror start for them, but again, it's this problem. It keeps cropping up for them.
Yeah, and credit to Melbourne City. They came out firing. Aurelio Vidmar, he mentioned the international Austrian talent they had in Andreas Kroon, and he's been phenomenal, hasn't he?
Yep.
From a minute and a half in, he's been setting players up. He looks so confident, and he's been tearing them apart, really, on this right-hand side for Brisbane.
So it started so early, 52 seconds. They doubled the advantage, almost tripled the advantage there as well. On the flip side, Ruben Zatkovic is, I was going to say pulling his hair out, but that's already gone. He's getting very frustrated because every time they seem to control passages of play, it gets in and around the box and then they turn it over every time. I won't repeat what he's been saying, sitting quite close to him, but it is so frustrating because they're getting their moments, but having to pull the trigger from outside the box.
Well, there's very few, if any, highlights for Brisbane Roar from that first half. And I think obviously they got caught on the ball early there. That's disappointing. That happens. They got caught out and they capitalised Melbourne City. But then again, they got caught on transition for that second one. They'd just gone forward, had a good opposition. Clearly, rest defence wasn't expecting it. Quick, direct switch ball from Melbourne City, and it's 2-0. So it's very difficult for a team who are really lacking confidence to come back against a Melbourne City from 2-0 down.
All right, let's have a look at the Harvey Norman highlights. And we came here thinking that off the back of that 4-all draw, they're trending in the right direction, Brisbane Roar. And Scotty Neville, he is back from that knee reconstruction, played his first game last week, turns it over early in his first game back at Suncorp for a long time. Slight deflection there, but we talked up this bloke, Kuhn, before the game. Aurelio Vidmar said his best is yet to come because he's had some niggles with the body. Little deflection there perhaps, but what a great start for him.
Yeah, and
using his strength.
Credit to the high press here. They came out with intent. They came out with a mission here, and it's, you know, it's unfortunate for Scott Neville, perhaps a reflection of the lack of match minutes that he's been played. He's been caught on the ball, and that short deflection there is disappointing, but what a wonderful first touch here. That first time ball makes this. Andreas Kuhn, unbelievable left foot, just drags it back on, and of course, Cohen does not miss from there. So that was a transition moment for Brisbane Roar off the back of what was an exciting, perhaps their most exciting opportunity in that first half. But Melbourne City, geez, they are clinical.
Yeah, and he loves that move, doesn't he? Off the left, like cutting it back, almost no-look style, and that's the way they celebrate. Let's have a look at the match stats from this one. The glaring one at the top, obviously, is the 0 there for Brisbane Roar and 2 for Melbourne City. But shots at goal, 6-4. On target, 2-1. That's all that counts, the 2 on target and into the back of the net. But, I mean, possession-wise too, Melbourne City controlling things. So what does Brisbane need to do to try and get back in this contest? Is it all just down to ball control?
Well, a bit of everything, really. Obviously, they've been caught out on a couple of times. They're not dealing with the high press and organised and effective press that Melbourne City are putting on there. But again, in attack, they've had a couple of moments where Jay O'Shea's found himself in space. He's had a couple of long-range shots, really not tested the keeper.
Yeah.
They've not managed to get Tommy Waddingham in the game. When Jelicic is on the ball, he looks good, but again, not seeing enough overload of players going forward either.
All right, let's get to Daniel McBreen and Simon Hill for their take on that first half action. And Simon, as Amy was just saying, Brisbane Roar been forced to pull the trigger from downtown rather than getting in and around the box, which is where Tommy Waddingham's so dangerous.
Yeah, that's true. They did have a few chances, Macca, but you can understand the boos that rung out around Suncorp at half-time because they were mainly from outside the box.
Yeah, look, Melbourne City did a very good job of keeping them away from the real danger area. Jay O'Shea there with probably their best opportunity, I would say. It was Raphael Strauch with a similar area, but this is where they've been really restricted to taking shots from. Just around the outside and inside of the box from really tight angles, and there really are difficult opportunities to score from. So you have to credit Melbourne City's defence, but also maybe a little bit of lack of real cohesion in those wide areas to get good balls into the box.
Yep, need to find Tommy Waddingham a little bit more, and they need goals, Scotty.
don't they, Simon? That is for sure. I think Nathaniel Atkinson's been doing a pretty good job at right back as well. What have you made of his performance so far?
Yeah, he's definitely the most confident, and he's had a great game out there so far. Obviously very good on transition. He's quick, he's strong, and he feels really comfortable out there. But like I said, Brisbane Roar are going to need to get a little bit more creative to try and break down what is a very organised defence so far from Melbourne City.
All right, let's have a look at the Paramount Plus player index from the first half here, and it is lit up, pretty much dominated by the City players. It is Kuhn on top, Cohen right behind him. The Kuhn and Cohen show, really, and there you go, Atkinson in number 3. Jay O'Shea's trying his best there for Brisbane Roar, and Suprayan there as well. Let's have a look then at some of the contributions we've had from the Austrian. Now, I asked Vidmar before the game, how's an Austrian going to go playing in this heat and humidity? He's like, he's played his last 3 seasons in Greece, so this will be easy, and he's making it look easy, and you can see the size on him too. He uses his body, uses his power, uses his speed, and he's obviously a guy playing with a whole lot of confidence right now.
Yeah, he's not tall, but he's very strong on the ball. He knows how to use his body. He's clearly very clever, heavily left-footed, but he's got that composure to pick out a pass. He's got a goal, an assist. Really probably should have had a second assist there with about 30 seconds to spare before half-time, and an unbelievable cutback again for Cohen. So it is a little bit of the international show here today. I think Simon Hill mentioned if you make a few good signings, international players, that can be a really good opportunity for you.
Yep, when they come on and dominate like that, it is always good for your side. All right, we are off to a break. That was the Hungry Jacks half-time show. Question is, can Brisbane fight their way back? Don't forget, coming up, the weekly kickoff every Wednesday. Myself, Grace Gill and Andy Harper. All the fun as well to go with that. And of course, the Tillies, they are in action tomorrow night, their last game of the year against Chinese Taipei.
Gaza with the cross in, and there's the goal, and it's Tash Cryer in just her second appearance for the national team. Gilnick shoots off the crossbar, and it's a first ever Matilda's goal for Sian Fryer. Briley Henry arriving at the back post, and she scores! And Briley Henry has her first goal.
Well, AC/DC's thunderstruck, thundering out across Suncorp Stadium, and the Roar certainly have been thunderstruck in the first half. 2-0 down, could be 3, and Ruben Zankovic has gone to his bench at the break. Jacob Brissett, the former Sydney FC junior, and Harry van der Sar will replace Rafael Strauch and Florent Berenguer. So he's not messing around, Ruben Zankovic, as they seek to avoid what will be a 6th consecutive home defeat at Suncorp. And if that wasn't bad news enough for the Roar, Melbourne City, who are yet to reappear for the second half, have conceded just 1 second half goal all season. That was Marcus Antonson's goal for Western Sydney Wanderers last week when they lost 2-0. So it's a big job for Brisbane, second 45. They huffed and puffed a bit in and around Melbourne City's penalty area, Daniel McBreen, but never really threatened to blow City's house down.
Well, exactly right, Simon. Ruben Zankovic will be hoping that that young man there, Brissett, will be able to get some impetus going forward. He's looked good in his brief moments in the A-League so far. Got a lot of work to do to open up this Melbourne City defence, as you said, Simon. Very strong this season.
Yet to concede a single goal on the road. And really had Jonathan Cohen's thunderous strike, where the last attack of the first half gone in instead of back out off the post. And then really we would probably be talking about just how many Melbourne City are going to score. They're still in a very healthy position. And if they do win tonight, they will jump up to 3rd spots on the ladder. With 12 points, just 3 behind the early pace setters, Auckland FC. We've got the big New Zealand derby this weekend. You can watch that game live on 10 Bold or stream it on Paramount Plus tomorrow from 2:30 p.m. We're going to have a change here for Melbourne City as well at the outset of the second half. And it's going to be one youngster for another, Medin Mehmeti, to replace Arion Suleimani, whose starting debut comes to a close after just 45 minutes. So the hard work starts here for Brisbane Roar. Have they got it within them to come back and get something out of this game, Daniel McBreen?
Well, they've definitely got the firepower, as we've said. I fear that the problem might be that can they stop the leaks at the other end. If they can control the midfield and start to get some quality that they've got facing forward, then it can be done.
Jelacic's delivery took a touch, which has helped Jacob Brissett. First involvement off the bench. Zabala first to the loose ball. Good determination shown by Lou Zabala to keep this attack alive for Brisbane. Jelacic, O'Shea. Brisbane threatening at the outset of the second half. Brissett trying to go on his own. I think he and Jelacic might have even got in each other's way there. That's the sort of thing that Ruben Zankovic wanted to see.
Yeah, positive start. A little bit of zip, a little bit of drive as well. We've seen young Brissett. He's not afraid to run at players. As soon as he gets that ball, that's the first thing on his mind.
Confirmation of all those changes. Foul on Jago. Jelacic didn't think so. Let's have a look and see if he's right.
I thought he was right.
You still think he's right?
I think he's right. I think he just pokes the ball away from Jimmy Jago.
I'll respectfully disagree.
Okay. It'll be the first time.
Or the last this season, no doubt. Cyprian to take this free kick. He's Tommy Waddingham in check pretty well so far. A spot bother here, Melbourne City, and they've turned the ball over. And a loose ball may well favour Brisbane here. It's a good effort by Van der Sark. On target, something to get the Raw fans up and about.
Well, it has been a positive start. Good pace shown there. Quick look up, tried to play it across Patrick Beach. Positive signs early. The Den back involved.
Reminder of the two teams at the start of play today. Brisbane were unchanged from that 4-all draw with MacArthur last week. 150 games up in all competitions for Jay O'Shea in Raw colours. Here's Jonathan Cohen. It's behind Mehmeti. O'Shea with the quick ball out. Jelicic. Time for Aziz Bajic. Beach's clearance upfield. City made 3 changes today. And Talbot dropping to the bench. It's going to be a free kick for Brisbane. Jimmy Jago back in for his first start since round 1. It's he who's committed the foul. Harry Politidis and the now departed Arion Suleimani starting today, being the other changes. No problems with that one, Macca.
Yeah.
Well, a goal changes everything here. City will have expected this early onslaught in the second half from Brisbane. What can Jay O'Shea do with the free kick? Scott Neville and Ben Warland have made their way forwards to lend some height to this attack. Waddingham and Van der Sarg in there as well. Hung up to the back post, and Patrick Beach got enough on the ball for Melbourne City.
Just scrambling a little, but got just enough on it.
O'Shea. Neville. Zabala had to be quick. It's not a particularly good ball. Scott Neville, his team, under pressure once again. Ahead of Ugarkovic. Steadied down by O'Shea. Zabala. Fairly won by Ugarkovic. Used to seeing Louis Zabala playing either at right back or left back, but in midfield at the start of this season for Brisbane.
Yeah.
Which I think is where he started his career.
Yeah, I think
if I'm
that's
not mistaken.
his more natural position, yeah. He's been very busy in there tonight.
Brissett looking to add some spark off the bench. Jacob Brissett. And Atkinson made the block. They'll go again through Burke Gilroy. Quite have skills in his kit bag to release a teammate.
Well, Stephen Ugarkovic, who read it, just cut out the play, but he's a very positive young player, isn't he? Jacob Brissett.
Joined the club on a 2-year scholarship deal from Sydney FC. Still just 18 years of age. He did reach that one. So too has Politidis. Now Andreas Kuhn. He really was Brisbane's tormentor in the first half, but firing wide on that occasion. forward, didn't quite have enough air on it, and City have won the ball back. Brisbane thinking there might have been a foul. So Sam Kelly happy to let play go on. Politini's firing well wide in the end.
I think it was Keegan Jelicic that thought he was fouled. Politini's found himself in a lot of space, didn't he? Thought, well, I'm going to have a crack here. Didn't quite get hold of it.
Two shots inside a minute for Melbourne City, just reminding Brisbane that they're in the box seat in this game at Suncorp. Dug out well by Van der Sar. Hingert. Van der Sar losing out. Kuhn finding Cohen. Loose ball breaks for Ugarkovic. Cohen has wrestled to the turf by Harry van der Sar, and that's going to be the first yellow card of the game. It's gone to Harry van der Sar, who's only been on the field about 8 minutes.
Well, clear there. Good strength from Jonathan Cohen, gets his body in the way, and then Van der Sar says, well, if I'm going down, you're coming down with me.
It's Harry van der Sar's third caution of the season already. A couple more, and he'll be looking at a one-game suspension. Jonathan Cohen standing by with the free kick. And again, Cyprian just lurking at the back of the pack. Brisbane have learned their lesson from the first half. They go short instead. It's a pretty tame delivery from Jego. Back out with Bajic. Cyprian. Kuhn. Bajic. It's the return off Jego. City happy to be patient. That's the luxury of the two-goal lead.
Well, they had to be as well, because the execution of the set piece was pretty poor, wasn't it? Well, let's recalibrate and start again.
Vincent's ball. Hingert's clearance. And Jelicic with the chance to turn and move. O'Shea. Get the angle right for Brissett. Turned back by Ugarkovic. Brisbane came out strong at the start of this second half. City have just taken the sting out the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, they have.
It's another foul by Van der Sar. He's claiming he got the ball. Certainly injected a bit of grit into the midfield, Harry van der Sar. Steered back by Scott Neville. Freak for Warland. City looking to press, which they did fairly effectively in the first half. Ugarkovic. Difficult to keep up, of course, for 90 minutes in rather sultry conditions.
Yeah. The humidity a little bit different to Melbourne.
Bajic angles straight at Freak. Goes for the quick release. Jelicic. O'Shea has to be careful. Now they get through the press. O'Shea, Brissett. The wall pass with Jelicic. Van der Sar. A shot from Brissett, charged down by Truitt. Handed away by Atkinson. They'll reload through O'Shea.
Well, credit to Melbourne City's defence there. As quickly as that opportunity opened up, it was closed again by quick pressing on the shooter. Brisbane Roar really finding it difficult to get any meaningful balls into that penalty spot area.
Brissett. Nice little flick to link up with Keegan Jelicic. The step over, so it's lovely from Jelicic. He just couldn't quite wriggle through. Atkinson and Ugarkovic just about sorting it out between them.
You feel that someone needs to make the spark for Roar. We saw last week against Melbourne City, Nicholas Milanovic, when things seemed a bit flat, just all of a sudden decided, well, I'm going to take someone on here.
Oh, it's dropped kindly there for Tommy Waddingham. Zabala. Jelicic. High foot from Truitt. Free kick. Dangerous position. Almost dead straight.
Jay O'Shea straight over. Aggressive from Kai Truitt.
Brisbane with the only shot on target so far was Harry van der Sarg's efforts. Forced a save out of Patrick Beach. Let's see if the City keeper is about to be tested again. All of 4 for City. O'Shea on the left of the ball, Tommy Waddingham on the right. It's going to be Jay O'Shea. Oh, it hits the woodwork with Beach beaten. Don't think he got a touch, but the replay will be instructive.
I think he did get a touch.
Well, if so, then that's a magnificent save. Still there for the Roar. Headed away purposefully by Truitt. And now the counter is on. Jonathan Cohen waiting for the runners to join him. Here's Andreas Kuhn. They get a lucky touch off O'Shea. And now Roar are back in numbers defensively. Ugarkovic wrestled to the turf. Free kick City. Let's have a look at Jay O'Shea's effort at the other end.
It was a wonderful strike, wasn't it? I think you might be right, Simon. I don't think he did get a hand on that. This one will give us a better angle. No, you're right. He was at full stretch. Beach. Jay O'Shea centimetres away from getting one back for the Roar. And now it's City at the other end in a very similar situation. Maybe just a little further out.
It's Macklin Freak's turn to wear the furrowed brow. It's a little bit further out than Brisbane's attempt, hence just a wall of 2. Ugarkovic and Cohen discussing matters. Supriyan again at the back post. And Kai Truitt left all alone. Supriyan back across the face. And Cohen to try and steer it into the bottom corner. And City have to settle for a corner. Well, that's 2 or 3 times now they've left Supriyan all alone. I can only assume, because Brisbane have been awarded possession here, that maybe Kai Truitt was offside.
Must have been, yeah. But again, you're right. City at that back post area. Brisbane Roar just seem to mark the zone and not worry about the players. This can be a dangerous ploy at times.
It's very much the modern way, isn't it? Zonal. You're the tactician, Macca.
Or mixed.
What do you prefer, a blend?
It's a tough one, depends.
Macca's away to stroke his chin and,
Well, exactly.
and ponder the tactics. And Brisbane are on the move. Jacob presents. Has been lively off the bench. Runs into a bit of a cul-de-sac on that occasion. Oh, how about that for a challenge from Ben Warland? Perfectly legal as well. Keegan Jelicic couldn't quite set himself. But Brisbane straining every sinew to try and get back in the contest. Jelicic. Nobody there at the back post.
I just can't quite find that last touch or pass.
You can see a double change for the Raw. They say Acosta. And Walid Shaw to replace Louis Zabala and Jack Hingens. Shaw, the Lebanese international, and they set Acosta, the Ecuadorian.
I hope that means Van der Sar will go back a little deeper into the right back position.
O'Shea claiming he got a shove there from Jego. Here's Cohen. Costa. Burke Gilroy. It's certainly been an urgency from Brisbane that we didn't see enough of in the first half. Still looking for that bit of extra quality in front of goal.
Yeah, it's been one of those nights, isn't it, where at times they've knocked the ball around well. It's just that final touch. Final ball that either was just behind, just out of reach. Try to be a little too cute at times.
O'Shea. It's very tight in there. Truin toes it away. Neville plays it wide. Van der Sar. Yeah, not quite.
Well, that's the kind of thing we're talking about. It was the right idea. He had the Melbourne City players going the opposite way. Just duck back in behind them. Just overhits the touch. We've seen Brisbane try to play some really neat little 1-2 touch football through around the edge of the D. And when they're trying to do that, there's 5 or 6, even 7 sometimes Melbourne City defenders they've got to try and bounce it through. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's quite difficult.
It's the best pass for him, in all honesty. Here's Andreas Kuhn. A little bit quieter in the second half. Feeding Mehmeti. Still plenty of time for Brisbane.
Well, there is. You said it earlier, Simon. One goal will change the whole complexion.
Interesting action areas for Brisbane going forward, mainly through the middle. Talking of which, Harry van der Sar was offering width on the right. He was screaming for the ball, and it never came. Now they'll go left for Jelicic. Tommy Waddingham in the middle saying, just put a cross in for me.
Well, I must admit, as an ex-striker myself, and Jelicic has a chance here.
Brissett in behind, goes near post, and Patrick Beach gobbles up the ball at the second attempt.
Well, they eventually worked it in behind and a good run from Brissett. He has a look here from the tight angle. And if you just see Tommy Waddingham coming to shot there, he says, why aren't you squaring that across the 6-yard box for me to tap it in? I'll have to see a wider replay to see if it was on. It's Patrick Beach who's down injured now, but it was a well-worked opportunity. We were just about to talk about the frustrations of Tom Waddingham in Central. And as Brissett took that shot, Tom Waddingham just threw his arms out and said, just play it across the box.
Well, he's the sort of striker that needs service inside the 6-yard box, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And like I said,
he's tall and he's strong, get the ball in.
Gets into good areas.
And he'll do the rest. Let's have another look at this effort from Jacob Brissett. He almost caught out Melbourne City goalkeeper at the near post.
To be fair to Jacob Brissett, I think most people in that position there are going to try and have a strike. In the wider replay, you could see there was still 2 Melbourne City players probably between the ball and Tom Waddingham, but striker will always say, just give it to me in those areas.
Patrick Beach is okay. Copped a bit of friendly fire, I think, from Kai Truitt as he dropped on the ball. Certainly done what Ruben Zankovic has asked of him, that is to buzz around the Melbourne City penalty area, try and make things happen. Looks like it's going to be a double change for Melbourne City. Zane Schreiber, Ben Mazzeo waiting to come on. This is a good run from Kuhn. And Cohen, oh, that's a glorious strike. That should seal the 3 points for Melbourne City. Jonathan Cohen has a double. Again, Andreas Kuhn, the provider. Those two have ripped Brisbane to shreds this evening. And it's 3-0. And surely there's no way back now for the Roar.
Well, a beautiful finish. But what about the run from Andreas Kuhn on the Harvey Norman replay? Strength, speed, and off balance gets the ball out. And you could just see Jonathan Cohen approaching the ball, what he wanted to do. And he hit it with perfection. Nothing Macklin Freak can do about that. And the imports combine again for the third for Brisbane Roar. Fantastic play. Take a bow for the finish, Jonathan Cohen. But what about the lead-up play from Andreas Kuhn?
And that will be his last action of what has undoubtedly been his best game yet in a Melbourne City jersey, Macca.
Oh, fantastic display. And he's earned that rest. 3-0 up. Humid conditions, and he's been the standout performer today. Wonderful football.
So the 2 changes, Harry Politidis and Andreas Kuhn, the man of the moment for Melbourne City. And Ben Mazzeo and Zane Schreiber are on in their place. Schreiber just to shore up that midfield. Aurelio Vidmar doesn't look too happy, but I'm sure he's smiling on the inside. Ben Mazzeo, the 19-year-old, on for his first action of the new campaign. And surely that crushes any hopes of a Roar revival now, Macca.
Well, it would have to be something spectacular. To be honest, I don't think we've seen enough to see that happening, but you never know in football.
Good reads by Van der Sark. He earned that little bit of good fortune. Costa, O'Shea, Jelicic really have a lot of power behind that. Easily blocked by Truitt. It's going to get away from Cohen on the left. He's now swapped sides. Ben Mazzeo, I would imagine, on the right.
Didn't he take that last goal so well? Wonderful technique.
Both teams giving the ball away inside the centre circle. Asa Acosta comes away with it. Brissett. As he was trying to hang on to his jersey there. Still trying to get close to him. Still going. Oh, that's a penalty, surely. Sam Kelly having to think about it and says no.
Well, I think we might disagree on this one, Simon.
Okay.
I thought Nathaniel Atkinson just stood his ground, just stood there, didn't put his leg out. We'll have another look here. Did he put his leg out?
It's a tight one, isn't it? No, that's a penalty.
Yeah, it's going to be.
That's a penalty.
Yeah, he moves towards the line of the run.
It's very similar to the one that Callum Talbot conceded for City last week.
Yeah, I think this will be overturned. On the replay there, you see he moves his body into the line of Brissett. If he stood still, you could have an argument that he's just standing his ground, but he clearly moved to impede the run of Brissett going forward.
Well, VAR is checking. Obviously, they've got to be satisfied there's enough of a clear and obvious error to overturn the on-field decision. But surely they've got to ask Sam Kelly to have a look at this.
You see there, the left leg goes out, the butt moves towards the line. Yeah.
And the cheers you can hear in the background are because Sam Kelly has indeed been summoned to the little screen at the side of the field. Chris Griffiths-Jones in the VAR booth tonight. And I would be amazed if this was not awarded as a penalty, but we've been wrong before, Macca. He sticks the leg out and then tries to drag it away, but I fancy it's too late.
Yeah, I'm with you. As soon as that left leg moves across the line of Brissett, I think he's done.
Time will tell. A good few looks at it. He does try to drag the leg away. Does he do so in time? It's all a game of very fine margins, isn't it?
Well, it was a fine run from that man, Brissett.
Here we go. We're going to hear the verdict from Sam Kelly. On debut in the middle, of course.
After on-field review, number 13 has tripped the attacker. The decision is penalty.
There we go. Big smile on the face of Jacob Brissett. He feels justice has been done. And Jay O'Shea will have the chance from the penalty spot to give Brisbane a lifeline. Jay O'Shea rarely misses from the penalty spot. He's 16 from 17 in the A-League. His only miss was against the Newcastle Jets 2 years ago. There's his last 10. They're a bit of a mixed bag, so good luck reviewing that video evidence, Patrick Beach. Let's see if he guesses right. Big moment this for the Raw. And O'Shea makes it 17 out of 18 penalties, celebrating his 150th Raw appearance in all competitions. And Brisbane just have a glimmer of hope with 15 to go.
Here's another look at the foul. You can see on the Harvey Norman replay, Nathaniel Atkinson just moves that left leg and his body into the path of Brissett. And then, as he does so often, Jay O'Shea steps up and puts the penalty away. Will that be enough to spark Brisbane Roar into what we thought was an unlikely comeback in the last 15 minutes? Maybe it's on the cards.
His 26th A-League goal, second of the season. And it's the first goal that Melbourne City have conceded away from home all season. Is it going to be enough to spark a Brisbane Roar comeback? Freak putting Van der Sar in all sorts of problems problems there on the edge of his own penalty area. Lovely flick by Jonathan Cohen. Maybe we haven't spoken about his game enough tonight as well. Not just the 2 goals.
Well, you said it earlier, Simon. If we can get the foreign signings right, we're in with a good chance. Tonight we're seeing...
And it's Cohen's cross. Pops out for Atkinson. Mazio. Held up by Berg-Gilroy, City throw.
I was just saying, tonight we're seeing what they can do, and what they've done tonight is be the difference.
Goal for Brisbane. Probably just reward for the efforts of Jacob Brissett off the bench. He's tried his best to make things happen.
Well, he's positive, isn't he? He's a very dynamic young player. Likes to run at his defenders, gets them on the back foot, and that always causes problems. And when you look at, you're waxing lyrical, quite rightly with Cohen and Kern. This man, Cyprian, hasn't given Waddingham a sniff tonight.
Brisbane have got another substitute on the way. It's going to be a like-for-like change. Corey Brown to come on at left back for the tiring Anthony Berg-Gilroy. Quickly into the action, Corey Brown. Getting the better of Atkinson. And he fired the cross, near post was Waddingham. Well, that's the sort of chance he's been waiting for all night. Get the ball to him in that sort of an area, and he's a handful.
And there it is. First real ball in anger around that 6-yard area, and he's nipped in front of Cyprian and got a shot away. Great work from Corey Brown just on the field.
Brisbane have to find a way, maybe not tonight, might just be a bit too late, but in future weeks to get Tommy Waddingham much more involved in those sorts of areas.
I'll never write Brisbane off, Simon. You know that from experience. Still plenty of time left in this one.
And I didn't even bring that up. Shaw is kicking out in his attempts to keep the ball for his team. Accidentally catching Jonathan Cohen. Looks like a painful one as well. Just maybe on the toe or the heel, one of the two. Mentioned in the first half, it's his 300th senior appearance at club level tonight. Jonathan Cohen, most of those games for Maccabi Tel Aviv in his native Israel. Won a couple of league titles. This is Ben Mazio and Stephen Ugarkovic in behind. The icing on the cake for Melbourne City. Stephen Ugarkovic with his 3rd goal of the season, and City have 4 at Suncorp.
Well, the Brisbane Roar players seemed to stop as they thought the ball had crossed the sideline. We know VAR will check that, but no such problem for Melbourne City on the Harvey Norman replay, and Ben Mazio with the return pass. Comes inside, lovely little reverse pass, and Stephen Ugarkovic already bagged himself a couple of goals this season, gets himself a 3rd. And any chance of a comeback has been quickly snuffed out.
Well, he bagged a double in Perth in the 5-0 win a few weeks ago. Now goal number 3 of the season, and as you mentioned before, with those 3 key Socceroos attacking figures out, it's so important that others find a way to contribute, and he's doing his bit.
Well, it was a good positive run, wasn't it? A nice ball. And Mazio as well, the reverse pass, the awareness. Obviously, Steve Ugarkovic gave him a little call. I'm sure they're checking this ball on the up near the halfway line. Did it cross?
Another change for City late on. Nathaniel Atkinson takes his leave. Be replaced by German Ferreira. The Argentine who's started one game this season, that was in the Melbourne derby, and he was replaced at half-time in that defeat to Melbourne victory. He's going to be on the winning side tonight, barring a late miracle. I don't think we're going to get another 4-4 here. And Brisbane have now conceded 18 goals this season.
It takes them level with Perth Glory now.
The problems mounting for Ruben Zatkovic.
18 goals in 6 games.
There were boos at half-time for the raw display. They might be a bit more vocal at the end of the 90. Even though, by and large, you'd say that they've been better in the second half, even though the goals have continued to flow at the other end.
Yeah, I think they were very good for the first 5 minutes. Rosette's been a positive in the second half with his directness. There still hasn't really been too much in the way of causing trouble for City, has there?
Mazio, somehow that ball has slipped through, and Mehdi Mehmeti is away looking to make it 5. Well, he went with the outside of the boots. And has blown the chance of scoring what would have been his second A-League goal.
And Brisbane defence here in all kinds of disarray. I don't think Mehmeti could believe he was in such open space, just tried to bend it in with the outside of the foot.
It's the As Live ladder if it stays this way. City up to 3rd. Point behind their great rivals Melbourne Victory, and 2 behind Auckland, who, remember, are in action in that big New Zealand derby tomorrow against Wellington Phoenix. It's live on 10 Bolds. You can stream it on Paramount Plus. 2:30 p.m. start. In front of a full house in Auckland. Other games tomorrow. Newcastle against Adelaide, which has been put back a little bit because of the expected hot weather in New South Wales. And Western United taking on Macarthur. So we check out the Paramount Plus player index, and Jonathan Cohen is top of the shop. Almost leading a City clean sweep, bar for Jay O'Shea. I think Andreas Kuhn's a bit stiff not to be higher.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same. And I was also thinking about your comments earlier, Simon, about Jay O'Shea maybe being undervalued because of where Brisbane have been since he's been there. He always seems to be up there or thereabouts in these points tallies and the stats.
Where to from here for the Raw? The answer really in the short term is Western Sydney next week to face the Wanderers, which was the ground where they last won an A-League game in April. Costa. Brissett. Van der Sar. Easily seen off by Melbourne City. Pereira. Give it away rather casually by the Argentine. And then Waddingham claiming he was wrestled to the floor by Diego. Warland. Costa. Through the legs of Zane Schreiber. Shaw. Again, it's all a bit narrow for Brisbane. O'Shea. Now they can find some width. Corey Brown goes for the early ball in. It's a good one too. Here's Walid Shaw. Wanted a touch. And just agonisingly past that right-hand upright from Walid Shaw.
Well, he did well to adjust, didn't he? Thought about the strike straight away. As the ball fell to him just there, just a little shimmy and moves it across, and it just trickles wide of the post. Patrick Beach may have had it covered if it was on target, but feet from Shaw.
Going to the final minute of the 90, we're told there's going to be 6 minutes to be added on. Chance for City to maybe try and find another goal and reverse the scoreline from their last trip here. They were battered by 5-1 by Brisbane. I don't think even the staunchest Raw fan can have too many complaints about the result tonight. Late change here. We're going to see Kavian Romani in place of another one of the real stars of the show, Macca, Jonathan Cohen. What a performance.
Yeah, a great performance. A couple of goals, 2 great finishes. Rattled the post as well. But also his combination play. He's been a standout tonight.
6 minutes confirmed by Ali Reza Fagani. 2 goals tonight for Jonathan Cohen. And Kavian Romani, the 17-year-old, on for just his 3rd appearance in the Isuzu UTE A-League men's competition.
Well, Aurelio Vidmar has the luxury of getting some more minutes into all his younger players, giving them some time on that A-League pitch.
City have a home game against Auckland FC next, shaping as a top-of-the-table clash, and then the traditional pre-Christmas derby against Melbourne Victory. Into the 2nd minute of stoppage time. Went out, blast off Jelicic, but did he get an unnecessary bump there from Ferreira?
Yes.
He felt it too.
Look, it's a clear shove in the back, isn't it? Just the shoulder straight into the back.
Yeah, that should be a free kick really for Brisbane.
Oh, without a doubt.
O'Shea for Metti to chase. City will come again through Ugarkovic, Schreiber, Vejic. City hungry for more goals. Zane Schreiber with a rugby challenge on Nathan Acosta. This was the 52nd minute rather than the 92nd. See, that might have been a booking.
Potentially. They've been in cruise mode, Melbourne City, tonight, haven't they? I just think Matt Leckie, Marco Tilio to come back. And they're just quietly going about their business at the moment. Add those two in, and all of a sudden, everybody will be talking about Melbourne City again. Perched up in the top 3 at the moment as it stands.
Play just stopped because Aurora just treating Keegan Jelicic, who's still suffering the after effects of that body check by German Ferreira.
Looks like they're just checking the rotator cuff, and maybe when he whacked it, jarred the shoulder.
Doesn't look like a man to be messed with, does he, German Ferreira?
No, he doesn't.
There's first in the set of 6 for Zane Schreiber. A difficult night for Ruben Zatkovic. Here's the challenge on Jelicic. It's a fair old whack he gives him.
Yeah, I think it's also when he lands on the ground as well. He grabs straight at the shoulder. So the way he lands with the shoulder underneath him can jar that rotator cuff. And hopefully there's nothing lasting there.
Coolly done by Samuel Supriat. He and Kai Truan have gone about their business in unfussy fashion tonight. Holding by Ben Mazia. Any goal now for Brisbane would surely just be a late consolation. Brissett will get a corner off Ferreira. He's been one of their bright spots. Have there been enough, though, for the Raw faithful?
No, clearly not.
Brown. That sort of sums it up for the Raw tonight. Nice, unstressful end to the game for Aurelio Vidmar. Their away form, really something to behold this season. 4 wins from 4 on the road. Only to be fair, they've lost both at home, so it evens itself out.
Well, it's the other end of the table where Brisbane will be doing some soul searching. No wins in 6 now, 18 goals against.
Only seconds remaining before City's win is confirmed. And they've been good value for it. From the moment Andreas Kuhn put them in front after 52 seconds, the result has never really looked in doubt. 2 from Jonathan Cohen and cherry on top from Steven Ugarkovic to boot with Jay O'Shea's penalty. The only response after Jacob Brissett had been fouled, but that's the way it finishes at Suncorp. The boos ring out to the Brisbane Roar players. High fives all round on the Melbourne City bench. They're 4 wins from 4 on the road this season. A new club record for City and a record for Brisbane too, albeit an unwanted one. It's the first time in their history they've lost 6 consecutive home games as the problems only deepen for Ruben Zatkovic. They will stay bottom of the table for another week. City move up to 3rd, and still those 3 big Socceroo names to return at some point in the future. Jay O'Shea gave them a little bit of hope, the home side, Steven Ugarkovic's fourth goal slammed the door shut after that brace from Jonathan Cohen and that first minute opener from Andreas Kuhn, all of which gave us a full-time scoreline of Brisbane Roar 1, Melbourne City 4. Well, a terrific win for Melbourne City on the road. They've enjoyed their trips out of Victoria this season. And next up, perhaps an even bigger test for them back at Amy Park with that home game against Auckland. But for now, they can celebrate, and old pals can catch up. Samuel Suprian and Florent Berenguer, former teammates at Dijon, and we can get some reaction from pitchside and Scotty.
Yep, here was Steven Ugarkovic, mate. Nice to get on the score sheet. It looked like you guys were in cruise control here tonight. How did it feel out on the pitch?
Yeah, it was obviously a good result. I think we started really well, obviously getting a goal early and putting the pressure on. I think we pressed well, and the goals came from that, to be honest.
I've got to talk about your imports. Cohen, Kuhn, I mean, they were absolutely carving up for you tonight. How good is it to have the imports?